Hey guys, this is Pratik Oswal, founder and CEO of Glide Invest, and we are here to make investing stress free, one financial goal at a time. Hello everyone. Today's topic is going to be 5 crucial advantages of goal based planning. And goal based planning is today looked at as one of the most fundamental ways of investing money. I think investing is the best possible way of keeping disciplined. It's the best possible way of keeping track of where you are and where you want to be. And it's also a best way of making sure that you're actually on your target towards your goals, which can include your retirement. So before we come to goal-based investing, let's talk about how much to invest, where to invest, and when to start investing. So one of the main advantages of goal-based planning is maintaining discipline. What do you mean by that? I mean that a lot of investors today start the investing journey because they've read a blog article or because they've listened to a podcast just like mine, and go out there and make their first investment. But what essentially happens over time is that a lot of investors end up losing interest. So today a lot of people are talking about wealth management because of the COVID crisis. But post COVID, once hopefully things go back to normal, a lot of people are not going to talk about their wealth as much. So I think the only way to stay disciplined, which is the most important part about investing is not about it's not a one type job. It is something which you should do it every month for the rest of your working life. So I think for that to happen, you need to have goals. So I do think that setting a goal is extremely important and I think and there are a lot of calculators out there where you can actually see, if you invest say 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 or 5 lakh rupees on a monthly basis, what that would equate to when you retire. So I think discipline is the most important of why goal-based investing is very important. The other reason to why goal-based investing is very important is because investors get to see the long-term impact of the investments today. So what goal-based investing does, it sort of pushes you to start early. We all know about the power of compounding. What that means is what you do today will have a magnifying impact in the future. And I do think that by looking at goal-based investing, it really incentivizes you to start off really early, because what we've seen is that, I think people who start investing at say age 20 versus age 30 have a massive impact, massive difference when they're looking to retire. So I do think that the most important thing in investing is to not really start, is not to invest right, but to invest early. And investing at 25 versus 35 can make a huge difference by the time you retire. So I think that's a very important mantra. So also what goal-based investing does is that it keeps you disciplined, not only by keeping you invested every month, but keeps you disciplined by not having you invest too much during bull markets and too less during bad markets. What does that mean? Today, the reason why most investors do not end up making a lot of returns in the stock market is because they tend to invest too much when things are going good, and they tend to invest too less when things are going bad. And this is why a lot of investors end up not making as much money. With goal-based investing, because you're investing a small amount or a regular amount on a monthly basis, you don't have the risk of over investing and under investing in the markets, which is why I do think that a person with a goal is generally the person who would make the most amount of money over the long term. So I think it really helps investors not give in to greed and fear, which I think are two of the main problems of equity investing and why people end up not making as much returns as they can. The fourth point is tracking progress. I think there's a very good saying: if you don't know where you are going, you're probably going wrong. I think planning is extremely important. Most investors do not end up planning. They just end up investing for the heck of it because they've heard it from a friend or from a customer or from a client. I do think that goal-based investing is great because you can see where you've come from and where you're headed in the future. So I do think that, and also I think it helps you iterate your process and also look back at your experience. And if you have any changes, you can also look at those changes in the future. So I think tracking progress is very important. I think, and goal-based investing allows you to do that. And lastly, diversifying portfolios. What goal-based investing also does is it keeps into account your risk profile. So what goal-based investing does is that, if you're not really looking at taking high enough risk, a good goal would be a combination of say equity, debt, gold, international equities. I think by having diversified portfolios, you're getting a really good return without the risk of equity, which I think is extremely important. So I think goal-based investing also leads to you diversifying your portfolio, which I think is extremely good if you want to stay invested for a very long time. So let's talk about specific goals. And when it comes to short-term goals, a higher allocation towards debt or cash is really recommended, because I do feel that someone who's investing in equity for a 2-year or a 3-year goal is actually being extremely risky. So I do think that, I think for short-term goals, make sure most of your money is invested in debt. The shorter the goal, the more the debt investment, because the more predictable debt investments are compared to equity investments. And for long-term goals, obviously, investors should be embrace equity in a big way, because equity tends to be a great asset class for long-term investing. And so I do think that everyone who's looking at long-term goals should have a good amount of equity in their portfolios. Lastly, international investing. I do think that it is a very upcoming niche, or it's a very not talked about investment philosophy, but I do think going forward, most investors should have some international investing in their portfolios. A lot of our goals, such as foreign trips, iPhones, study abroad, is in a different currency, and I do feel that goals in that currency, or that goals in a foreign currency, should be in foreign investments. So international investing is very important to make sure that the goals are in the same currency as the spend. So just to conclude, goal-based investing is extremely important. It keeps you disciplined, keeps your emotions in check, and really solves the problem of how much should I invest and how should I invest. So I do think that you can do all of it on the Glide Invest with app. Come join us and check out your goals on our app. Thank you so much, and look forward to the next session. You can listen to us out here or check out our website www.glideinvest.com. You can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter on @GlideInvest. If you want to reach out to me, then I'm at Pratik Oswal 88 on Twitter. Cheers and happy investing. See you guys next week.